Hi, today I'm going to unravel some of the mysteries of the A-class control systems. We've seen some really complex photos released lately of what's happening on top and underneath. Today I'm going to show you both and how they both work. I will start with board control, where on my boat is this blue rope. I pull from behind the pulley, pulls the foil on, release the rope, lets the foil off. All the workings are made underneath the tramp, also helped by this shock cord here that helps retrieve the system. You'll also see on my tramp I have indicators which tell me exactly how much my foil's coming on. Not calibrated right now as I don't have the exact markings on there, but that little knot will tell me exactly how much my foil is going on. The next control is the mast rotation. With the new deck sweepers, the mast rotation is not as required as much as it used to be, with the deck sweeper controlling the mast rotation by itself. But we still have it. So I have a retractable system, worked with a lot of bungee cord underneath the trampoline, and like I said with the board adjustment, I just pull on until I'm centered, let go of the rope retracted. The last control that I have running underneath the trampoline is my traveller. I have a special system that I've refined through a few different versions. My latest version is I have a pulley on the back of the boat. The rope goes through the pulley, through the traveller, under the boat, underneath the tramp, and comes out through two pulleys and out to the cleats on the side and goes back under the tramp, with a lot of shock cord taking up all the slack underneath. So, like we saw at some of the boats at the Worlds on Stevie and Bundy's boat, the traveller could only come out to here. With the curve track on mine, I can come out to here, and I've allowed for that. Again, when I want to pull the traveller on, comes in centered, and all shock cord takes up the slack under the boat, and a nice neat deck. The mystery that lies underneath my trampoline, a lot of it is pretty simple. All these shock cords here are actually my trapeze take up shock cords. So if you see on my tramp, these two shock cords here go out to my trapeze lines. They go down the tramp, across to some shocks, Ronstan shocks, across the back of the tramp, across the side to the other side. All to do with, if you go around the bows on these boats, you've got a lot of take up on these shock cords. They're not going to break, and you don't have to look for a replacement shock cord after you've got around the bow. Next is the traveller. Now my traveller, like I explained earlier, comes through this hole, up here, the two red lines, up here to two 20mm blocks, Ronstan 20mm blocks, goes through them, out to the cleats on the side, along the side of the boat, and back underneath to a shock cord take up that pulls it all back in. So that line comes along here, just to some more Ronstan 20mm blocks that take up all the slack in the rope. So on the photos that you would have seen in Stevie's, where the rope was going back and forth, it's just take up of extra rope, and all made nice and tight by a shock cord take up. Again, same thing happens with the board take up. Our boards come in via the blue rope here, pulling my board on and off. Make sure you have an extra purchase put in the system. It'll just make it so much easier pulling the boards on and off. So we go in through a Ronstan 30mm block, around and out to the other side. But we also have the extra purchase in the system that goes to the front beam, down and around a Ronstan 20mm block and connects to that Ronstan 30mm block. It just makes pulling on the system so much easier. You also saw the little indicator line that comes on to show me where my board control is just easily done by, for me, a bit of yellow Dyneema goes around out where my one of my bungees are near my main cheek ratchet, goes along, tie a knot in it to show that the indicator is, comes back in where my rotation line is, up to a pulley on the front beam, and then back to the Series 30 block where it all starts. So very simple, very easy. The take up for the board control is mainly controlled by this big bungee here. This is what pulls the boards in. This brings the boards forward, but the little secret that I'm going to tell everybody is this shock cord here. There's a lot of friction that happens in this system. I'm pulling this on, so not only is there friction pulling the boards back, but there's friction in the system. So this shock cord here, when I pull it on, takes up, and then when I let it go, pulls a lot of the friction out of the system there. So that is your board control system. Also, with the blue line here, showing you just the take up, so that I don't have all the line hanging around my feet on the side of the wire when I'm trapezing downhill, going 20 plus knots. So I want that that blue rope to be out of the way. So it's all taken up by, another couple 20 series blocks underneath. And yeah, just takes all my line off the side of the boat. Lastly, the rotation. Rotation, very much like the other two previously. Just a bungee take up to take all my extra slack off the side of the boat. Goes through some Series 20 blocks. So when I've got it right out the side, I can pull the rope out to release the rotation right around. And then when I don't want it, release it and it's all gone. So basically under here, it's not that much of a mystery. It's pretty simple. Yes, it does look like a cobweb, but it's just very basic, neatening up of a lot of loose ropes that don't need to be on the side of your boat. Lastly, a few people might have it on their boat, is the riding rope. So we'll pull the tram back. When you tip over, you've got a riding rope that pulls out, so you can pull the boat up. And that purple rope just goes underneath the tram, again to some shock cord that goes across the back of the boat, through a shock, and across to the other side, to the other side's tip over control.